Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and we're having a look at a puzzle called Rip City by Murdoch today. I'm a bit terrified. I am a bit terrified. I've got burnt at the hands of Murdoch more than once before, and this could be hard, so we'll see what happens. It's a beautiful design of the puzzle. Lovely red circle connected by an orthogonal line, but I know I'm annoying you, Paolo, by using the word orthogonal for that line, but there you go. Maths is going to have to bow to the rest of us eventually. Now, I will go through the rules of this in a moment. They're interesting, and there's very interesting negative constraint, and, well, you'll see. What I'm going to do first is tell you that on Patreon, there's loads of great content, loads of extra puzzle stuff from us. So there's Sudoku hunts on the first of every month. There's connections, gridogram videos, crossword videos, solution videos to those Sudoku hunts. Do join us on Patreon. We'd love to see you there. And we'd love you to get our apps as well. They feature line Sudoku, domino Sudoku. Is killer Sudoku relevant today? You'll see. But also classic Sudoku 2 and the Worms. More great fun to be had. You can use the links under the video to get to Sven's Sudoku pad and support Sven, or to our catalogue of puzzles, or the Discord server where you can meet a brilliant like-minded community. Just give everything a go. I am going to go through the rules of this puzzle now. So, the digits 1 to 9 appear once in each row, column and box because normal Sudoku rules apply. Adjacent digits on a red line alternate between even and odd. Now, what digits are on the red line? I'm going to use the white dot rule to help us identify that for clarity. White dots separate consecutive digits that are adjacent to each other along the red line. All such dots are given. So, that means, is this cell on the red line? Yes, it is, because it's on a white dot. So I think we could actually use that to sort of clarify what cells are on the red circle. I mean, it's obviously easy to see what cells are on the red horizontal stroke vertical line. But that must be the red circle in terms of cells. And so the rule is that white dots are separating consecutive digits, but also that all possible white dots on a red line are given. Now, it does clarify the rule. These two cells, if they were consecutive, would not get a white dot because they're not on the same red line. They're not connected by a red line. Whereas these two, if they were consecutive, would get a white dot, and they don't. So they are not consecutive. So that's how it works. And I think that's understandable. It's just unusual. Talking of unusual, there are 4 single cell cages at the corners, and these individual cages act as a single combined cage with a total of 16, which is shown in only one of them. So that is a bit of an unusual killer cage. And then there's a negative diagonal along which the digits cannot repeat. So that's a set of the digits 1 to 9 because it's 9 cells long. Okay, those are the rules. I undertake this with trepidation. You can see how long the video length is already. I have no idea, but I'm going to tackle it now, and I'm going to say, let's get cracking. Okay, so there's a long white dot chain from here all the way to there. But which parts of that are a continuing up or down sequence? I say that group. Let me just try and explain that. Well, okay, the simple thing is that these 5 cells must all be different digits, and they're all connected by a white dot. So that means it's clearly a sequence, either ascending or descending from here all the way. It could go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, for instance. Now, if it did that, you'd have 5 here and 6 here. Well, you couldn't go back to 5 here. So you'd have to carry on the sequence from 5, 6, 7. And that's why I've added yellow to that cell. And the same is true here. If that was a 2 with a 3 there, this would have to be 1. So this is a 7-cell chain of sequence. I'm starting to wonder whether this is a puzzle for placeholders. Placeholder usage is a strategy we sometimes use. We prefer not to. Literally almost every time I have used it, somebody has written in to say, well, this is basically bifurcation, which you say is cheating. Well, firstly, I don't say bifurcation is cheating. I say it's a tool that I prefer not to use. Secondly, I don't think of placeholder usage as bifurcation. So what I would do, for instance, is say that this cell, what I might do is say that this would be 1, 2, or 3, and I'd be assuming it was low. I don't know that it's low, but I would be prepared when I got to a stage in the puzzle which I think would have to be determined by this cage, this fractured cage. If I discovered that my choice of that being low had made this cage impossible, then I would know that this would be high. And whatever stage I'd got to, I could deduct every cell's digit or its candidates from 10. And I'd have the correct version. What I'm telling you, in a very roundabout way, appropriate for today's shape, is that if this cage wasn't in the puzzle, it would never disambiguate between two possible solutions, one of which would be the intended final grid with all the digits in, and one of which would be 10 minus each of those cells, which would have to be equally valid. And it must be the 16 cage that's going to disambiguate that. Now, hang on. That's a long bolt of explanation. Okay, I've realized something that matters a lot, and that coloring these yellow is not going to help with. However, remember that that's a sequence. The only thing I'm going to take away actually from this is that 5 must be in the, well, 4, 5 and 6 must all be in a 7-cell sequence. But 5 is confined to those 3 cells. And that's because even if the sequence started here as high as it could with a 3, it would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If it started here as low as it could with a 1, that would be 3, 4, 5 would be in these cells. Now, that was all assuming this was low. If that's low, it's the same deal. You either get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 3, 4, 5. So the only sort of positional thing I definitely know is 5. I'm not going to do placeholders because I've remembered that these red lines are parity lines, and I want to do some parity colouring first. So I'm going to highlight every other cell along the circle, well, and along the orthogonal line as well, and colour them one colour, which is going to represent either odd or even, but I don't know which yet. So let's make them green. Let's make all the other cells on the lines pink. And then let's see if the grid is going to tell us whether pink or green is odd or even. That is obeying the parity rule, that adjacent digits on red lines alternate between even and odd digits. Well, I don't see 5 of one colour anywhere, which would tell us that they were odd. Not even on the diagonal, where interestingly we've got 3. We've got 4 pinks used in boxes 8 and 2. If pink was even, all of these would be odd, these would be odd. That would, yeah, All the evens would have been given in column 5 already. The 16 cage, what does that do? That has 4 cells, and it has an equal number of odd and even cells, because when you add 2 of the same parity, you get even. If you add 2 of different parity, you get odd. So this doesn't have 1 odd or 3 odd in it. It either has 0, 2, or 4 odd in it. Well, actually, if it's obeying normal cage rules and digits can't repeat. Well, it didn't say digits couldn't repeat in this cage. So let's assume they can, annoyingly, although it would only be in those 2 cells, because these 2 see each other on the diagonal. Well, and that means that they could all be even. I don't know if that's relevant. It probably isn't. Oh, if green was even, we'd have all the evens done in boxes 3 and 7. These would all be odd. Is there any difference to that? No. Why is that any different from the version in box 2? Those being odd. I don't know. Yeah, I have a sinking feeling that this is not going to tell us what is odd and what is even out of green and pink. Well, there are ramifications, actually, if these are all pink, because pink is odd. Oh, yes, okay. So, well, I'm going to paint them pink to show you, what I see doesn't work. Oh, that's really clever. This is Murdoch all over. Right. If those were pink, because green is even, and we've used up all the evens in boxes 3 and 7, then look at row 1. We've already had 4 odds. We can only have 1 more odd. Look at column 1. We've already had 4 odds. We can only have 1 more odd. But look at box 1. If we can only have 1 more odd, doesn't it have to overlap? No, it can't overlap in the corner. It can't be in the corner. Oh, I'm not sure I get this yet. If these were odd, and that is speculation at the moment. This is amazing, actually. This one can't be odd because both of these cells would be even and we'd have 5 evens in the box. So this one would be even, and the same thing's going to apply down here. And you know why that's a problem? If that was even and this was even, which it would have to be for the same reason down here, is look at the diagonal. You've got 5 evens on it, and there aren't 5 evens. That's madness. Okay, but that tells us that green is not even. This must happen. And let me just check this. This must happen if green is even. Those become odd. These must both be odd. Hang on, is this... Yes, it is right, because both need exactly 1 more odd digit, both row and column. You can't have 2. You have to have 1, and you can't have them there and there, or you'd have 5. Even. Hang on. Hang on, have I got this the wrong way round? Oh, maybe I have. Maybe I've talked absolute gubbins. If those are odd because pink is odd, we need 1 more odd and even here, 1 more odd and even here, but we're only allowed 1 even in the box. No, it is right. It's not gubbins. That must happen, and this must happen, and this is impossible on the diagonal. And that is a form of utter sorcery again. Oh, Murdoch's amazing. Right. So there we go. So pink, green is not even, pink is not odd. Green is odd, and pink is even. And now we've got all the evens in box 2 and box 8, which I was speculating about earlier. It seemed all right. That's because it is all right. Those all become odd in those boxes. Now I've got 5 odds in this row. So that's even for the same reason. And now at least we're balancing digits along the diagonal. I mean, I don't think I can do these corner cells. There's probably more I can do here. One of each there, one of each here. Look, I've had 4 evens in column 3 and 7. The puzzle's all dramatically rotationally symmetrical, obviously, because Murdoch's a flipping genius. These are all odds because the rows have all the evens in. Now I need 2 evens in the central box. In fact, I need 4 evens in row 5, and they're all done. But I still can't do these corners. That's so strange. Maybe I'm now meant to use the fact that the corner cells add up to 16 somehow. Oh no, I can. Look, I've got 5 on the 5 orange on the diagonal. So the other 2 are blue. But that gives me 4 in each box, 4 blues in each box. Now I can finish row 2 with a blue and column 8 with a blue and row 8 with a blue and column 8 with a blue. And now I can finish the grid with 2 oranges. And there we go. That is a full colouring of the grid. I mean, this is mad. And I don't think I've done anything towards high versus low and my placeholder problem. But I know which one of these digits is a 5. And I get my first digit in the grid after a very entertaining, for me, 12.5 minutes. I hope that was entertaining for you too. Right, so these digits surrounding the 5 are 4 and 6. These digits surrounding 4 and 6 are 3 and 7. And we worked out earlier, we're in the sequence. So these are 2 and 8. Now, they both see that cell. So that's 4 or 6. They both see that cell. And they're different, remember, because we know this is a sequence, because that's the only early work I did. So now we've got a 4-6 pair in that row. This digit is 2 or 8. A 4-6 pair in this row. This digit is 2 or 8. Now, this digit needs a 5 on one side or the other. Well, we know it's not on the bottom side. Whether it's a 4 surrounded by 3, 5 or a 6 surrounded by 5, 7, one of them's a 5 and it's got to be there. And that must be the same here, where that's not a 5, so that is. Now, let's just beware, because there's a white dot here that's not matched in symmetry there. But this digit is going to be 4 or 6. This one is going to be 3 or 7, because it can't be a repeat of the 5, so's this. This one's also going to be 3 or 7, so the remaining orange digits in row 5 are a 1 or a 9. This pair in box 5 are a 2, 8 pair. This pair on the diagonal are a 1, 9 pair. And I've got a 3 or 7 there, and a 5. So this digit is 3 or 7. Well, that's quite interesting. Because if I made this digit 4 or 6, that's sitting next to the 3 or 7, it would need a white dot, because it would be next to 5, definitely. So that is 2 or 8. This digit is 4 or 6, because we've had 2, 8 in the box. This one the same. Now I've had 4, 6 in this column. Those 2 are a 2, 8 pair. These 2 in the box are a 4, 6 pair. These 2 in the row are a 2, 8 pair. I mean, maybe I'm not going to need placeholders. Oh, I've got 4, 6 on the diagonal within the same box. That almost feels wrong, but let's assume it's right and put 2, 8 on the diagonal down here. This digit is 4 or 6. This one is not 5, so that must be 3 or 7. And we've got a 3, 7 pair. This is 1, 9. Maybe I'm going to be able to do the cage before I run out of pencil marking, candidate marking that I'm doing. I mean, I strongly predict that until I've worked something out about the total of the cage, the only digit I'm going to be able to fully fulfill is a 5. Anyway, 3 or 7 is next to this, which I was going to say cannot be blue 2, 8, but we're only doing evens. So it could be. But we've had a 2-8 pair, and we've had all the blues in this column. Yeah, that's not interesting. I am going to get very confused in a moment with what I have got and what I haven't got. See, in this column, well, this is interesting. These two have to be of different polarity. One is high and one is low. And I know that because otherwise there would be a white dot between those two. Because if these two are the same digit and there's a white dot between those two, then there has to be a white dot between those two. I'm not quite sure what that tells me, and it's probably nothing. Right, where am I going next? Sorry, there's probably a lot of very obvious things that I could still do. 2-8 is, it doesn't connect to that 1 or 9. No, that's not on a red line. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter about the white dot there. I've really got to keep focusing on the white dots, I think. This digit is 2 or 8 in the column. We've had 4 and 6. So this is, well, it's one of 1, 3, 7 or 9. It's not 5, and 5's not there. So in the row, 5 has to be here. So these digits are definitely both from 4 and 6 if they're connecting to 5 with a white dot. That's a 2 or 8 from the column, and indeed from the row. I hadn't worked that out before. This could be either... This can't be 2 or 8. Oh no, hang on, I was assuming a white dot there that doesn't exist. I want to get something in the cages now. I do want to do something with the cages. I don't know what to do. This, I mean, all I can say is it's 1, 9, 3 or 7. And I think that's the same truth about this, annoyingly. It's not impossible. I'm still going to have to trip over into placeholders and working out how to do the puzzle that way. But I'd still rather not. And I mean, I could easily be missing something at the moment. I'm gonna search for a little while longer. There might be 1, 9 or 3, 7 pairs lurking around that I just haven't even spotted. The diagonal's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, maybe all pairs are being created. See, I could colour things, couldn't I? I could colour 2 8s against each other. So if I made that one green flash, then it's different from that, so it's there. Then we can do Sudoku on it and discover it's there. And I worked out these two are different values of 2, 8, otherwise there'd be a white dot here, and that does apply because this is a red line connection. So therefore that is different from that, so that is Mr. Green Flash. And so is that by Sudoku, and that gets the one on the diagonal done. And that must be Green Flash 2, 8 in this box, because it can't be there by Sudoku, so it's also there. And then in this box it must be there, and in the central box it's there. So this is a 2 or 8. I mean, at least I've discovered this cell that way. But it's a little bit of a complex way to discover it, but still, that's valid Sudoku. Now, let's assume 2 or 8 is low. So this 4 or 6 is also low because it's only 2 away from it. So what colour will we give that? Light blue. And that's not here, so it's there. And that's here. Okay, so for the 3, 7, this must be low as well, because it's sandwiched here in between low and low. And it's touching a low digit here. So that's the same 3-7 identity, and that must go here. And I hadn't discovered that before by Sudoku. So that's not here, it's here. It's got to be in one of those cells in this box. It's got to be in one of those. 2-8. Well, this could be 1-9. I don't know. Okay, the non-grey 3-7 is there and must be here. So I can place 5 now in the box, and that's a 1 or a 9. And in the column, I've only got 2 3-7s left to do. And if that's low, and it's touching this one, this is low as well. And these two are actually the same, which I hadn't proved any other way. Now, this can't be the same because of Sudoku. So that is the 3-7. And if this is not the 3-7, can it be 5, or is it 1 or 9? It's not 1 or 9, because this is not the green 2-8. This is not, let's assume green and grey are low. This is not the low 2-8, because that's Sudoku ruled out. So this can't be the low 1-9. This must be the low 4-6, which is, hang on. I should be looking at this cell for 4-6. What was it? No, if it's not the low 1-9, this is 5. This is 5. And that's 5, and that's fine. It's not connected to 2 or 8. This is 4 or 6. This must be 3 or 7 to connect 4 or 6 with 2 or 8. Which 3 or 7 is it? Not the grey one. It's the other one. That's not the grey one, so that's grey. That's the one on the diagonal. Yes, good. And one of those is grey. This is weird. I mean, maybe I think this is me tackling this in a weird way. It's very wrong of me to blame the puzzle for being weird. The puzzle is not being weird. Mark is being weird. Right, that is not low, because if all my colouring is low, that is not low, because it's not got a white dot with that one. I don't want to have to introduce all 3 different colours for the highs, because I'm just getting so confused at this point. This is low because it's touching the grey, so that's light blue. Okay, that makes that light blue by Sudoku. Now, I was going to say we haven't had light blue on the diagonal. Yes, we know where it is. It's there because of this seeing that. So one of those is light blue on the diagonal, but it's not here because that would be touching what is not grey there. So this is the light blue 4-6. This is the other one. This is a 2-8, the non-green one. I've filled in nearly all the blue cells with a 4-6 or a 2-8, and in fact I'm going to finish that off now. Now, I haven't coloured all the 4-6s. This one is going to go light blue. Yeah, that one must be light blue. Now I have coloured in all of one set of the 4-6s. How am I doing on the 3-7s? Not as well. I've got the bottom 6 done, and that one, I've got 2 left to go. One is either there or there, and one is either there or there. Now, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Now, well, the trouble is I do want to put something in the corners because that's going to tell me the cages and what all the digits are in this frankly silly puzzle now. 5 not connecting to 2-8, but I don't... Right, this is the low version of 2-8, or, sorry, the coloured version of 2-8. So this is the non-coloured version. I don't know what that connects to. I'm going to have to try and work out what are low and high amongst 1 and 9, but I don't know where I'm getting that information from. It's not from this run. It's not from this. Oh, it might be there. No, it's not. This is the run, isn't it? It's not from there anywhere. How are we ever going to sort out a 1, 9? Because one of them maybe, or both, are going to be in these cells. That's weird. I don't know. This could be 3 or 7 because it's connected to 2 of the non-coloured 2 8s. How are we doing on 5s? Oh. I've got 7 of them done. Oh, look, I can write 5 into this box there, and then I can write it in there. Okay, so this digit is a 1, 9. Now, this one, I must know, we've had 3 7s of both types in the box. So that is going to be connected to this, and therefore it is not low. And we've got a 1, 9 pair there. Okay, so this digit is not the low 1, 9, so that is the low 1, 9. Okay, I'll give that a red flash, and we'll try and only colour those. Right, it's got to be here, because that's the only place the red flash can go in this box. It's a 1, 9, so then it goes here, and then it's not that, which we knew. Oh, but that kind of ran out. Ah. This is the low. I don't know. It could go there, but it's not allowed here. That's totally... I mean, I can't resolve these in terms of those polarities. These are not flashed, so that could still be 1, 9 or 3, 7. These are both the same polarity. These are both flashed. Ah, that's really important. Right, this is not the grey 3, 7, and this is not the red 1, 9. So these are from the other polarity. These are from the flashed polarities, which I'm often calling low, even though it may turn out not to be. But they include red 1, 9. Oh no, I was going to say red 1, 9 can't be here because there's no dot. That is irrelevant. This is not irrelevant, but there couldn't be a dot there. There's no red line connecting these, so I don't learn what's in there. Okay, I'm being very dense at this point. I kind of wish I'd placeholdered now, but it's too late. This digit is a 1 or a 9, because that's all that's left in this column. There's a chance I know which sort it is. One of these is red 1, 9. But I don't know what these are. Do I? Oh, this, I must be able to fill in the numbers, 3 and 7. And that's the non-grey one. This is a 1 or a 9, but I don't know which type. It's not on the line. That's why it can be the same as that, but there's no white dots. That's fine. Okay. Okay, come on, Mark. Figure it out. Right, these are both of the same polarity. Because these are the flashed digits in blue on the diagonal. So these are either a 4-2 pair, leaving these to add up to 10, or they're a 6-8 pair, leaving these to add up to 2. Now, if that was the case, this would be 1 and 1. And that is not possible, not because we can't have a repeat digit in the cages, which hasn't been mentioned in the rules, but because that would make these two both 9, and they are different polarity. This is the red flash, and that is not the red flash. So these are not 6 and 8, these are 4 and 2, and now we know about polarity. We know that the flashing digits are high. I've been calling them low all the time, but they're high. So I'm going to remove the blue from this and then highlight all the greens and call them all 8 because the flashed digits are high. Then I'm going to remove blue from this and call all of these 6 because the flashed digits are high. Then I'm going to remove orange from this and call them all 7 because the flashed digits are high. And what about 9? I can't really do, oh yes, even in, where did I get the information that the flash digits are high? That's because this low is connected to that. That's right. So the red flash digits are high as well. They're 9s. Right. So that is going to equip me to put in some other numbers. We're going to get a 1 there. I mean, lots of other numbers, if I'm honest. 3 and 4. 2 here. That one is 4. This is 2. This is 4. I'm sorry, I just have to do this the old-fashioned way because I'm a numpty. 1 or 3. This is 2. That's 4. This is 3. That's 1. This is 3. This is 2. This is 2 on the white dot. We've got 7 and 9 to place in the top row. Now, let's just have a quick look at the cage. I knew it would be no use. We've got 6 in the blue cells. These have to add up to 10, but I don't know what they are yet. Oh, Murdoch, you're hurting me now. 4, 1. Let's finish the row there. That's a 3. This digit must be a 4. Then we can do this whole sequence. 2, 3, 4. I should have done that ages ago. This is a 2. Okay, this is a 2 as well. This is 7 or 9. This is 2, 7, 6, 8, 4, 5. This is 1, 3 or 9, and this is 1, 7 or 9. Everything is candidate marked. Oh, I know what this is. This is 3, so that's 4. Well, that hasn't changed anything. Right, 2 is connected to 1 or 3. Oh, but look, here it can't be 3. That's 4, and there's no white dot. So that digit is 1. That's 3 in the corner, finally, proving its position. This is 7 to make the cage add up, and that's 9. Wow, and there we go. We are going to finish now, but my goodness, that's been a struggle and a strain and a stress. A squash and a squeeze. No, oops, that's meant to be 9. That's 1. This is 9, and that's 3. And there we go. Rip City, ripped in the end. I think Murdoch said something like, this is my most approachable puzzle ever. Well, keep trying if you want to make them more approachable, because that will be fine with me, Murdoch. Howling mad, Murdoch. Well, I do love it when a plan comes together in the end. Maybe there should have been placeholdering going on there. I'm not sure. But that was a struggle. That was a struggle, but it was fun. Thank you for watching. I'm going to see you again soon, I hope, on the channel. Please come back tomorrow. Bye for now.